Hi, this is Terry, and welcome to Cat Scratch Kitchen. Today we're going to make some of the fluffiest, most tender biscuits you've ever had. And we're going to do this with just a couple of ingredients, including one we just made last week, your own biscuit mix. All you need is biscuit mix, Sprite, and butter. Does it get any easier than that? So let's get started. Now to start off, I usually use some foil or wax paper on my countertop to work on just to make it a little bit easier cleanup. You're going to need a skillet or an 8x8 pan in order to bake your biscuits. Then take 1/4 cup of melted butter and pour it in the bottom of your pan. It looks like a lot, but it all gets soaked up by the biscuits and creates this rich, tender base. Spread it around a little bit just to make sure the entire bottom of the pan is covered, and then set it aside. Now in a mixing bowl, you'll need 2 cups of your biscuit mix. I'm using the biscuit mix that we made in a previous video, and I'll post a link to that at the end of today's recipe, as well as in the description box below. Next, just 1/3 cup of Sprite. Pour it into your baking mix and stir it together. If you find that your dough is too stiff or too wet, just adjust with either a little extra baking mix or a little extra Sprite. In this case, I needed a little extra baking mix. You want a very soft dough, but not sticky. Once it's well combined, sprinkle a little flour onto your work surface and pour out the dough onto the flour. Sprinkle a little additional flour on top of your dough and start folding it. You don't want to actually knead it, you just want to fold it over on itself, continuing until it's nice and smooth. You might need to add a little more flour as you go just to make sure it doesn't stick to your surface. Once you've folded your dough until it's nice and smooth, go ahead and pat it out into a rough rectangle, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. Now you're going to cut out your biscuits. You can use a regular biscuit cutter, a jar lid, or a glass with a nice thin edge. That's what my mom always used. When you cut your biscuits, just cut straight down, don't twist. As the biscuits are cut, place them in your pan with the butter and just continue until you've used all of your dough. Take any leftover dough, re-pat it out, and keep cutting biscuits until it's all gone. When your pan is full of biscuits, you're going to place it in a preheated 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. You want them to be nice and golden brown. And here they are. They separate easily with a fork, and the bottom of them is nice and cooked through, but has that savory, rich flavor of the butter that was in the bottom of the pan. Just look how tender and fluffy these are. You won't believe the texture. Add a pat of butter and some good jam, and you've got a winning addition to a great breakfast. The recipe for these Sprite Bisquick biscuits is in the description below, as well as a link so that you can print it out for yourself. I hope you liked this recipe and you give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe so that you don't miss the next recipe, which is coming up just next week. I'll see you then.